I remember the silence first. It wasn't the kind of silence that feels peaceful. It was hollow, loud in its emptiness, the kind that hums under your skin and tells you something's wrong before your mind dares to catch up. They said they were planning something for my birthday. Out for a few hours, my sister had texted. We're decorating the place. So I did. I spent the day pretending to be surprised later, imagining laughter, candles, maybe a toast to another year of love. But when I came home, the lights were off, the air was still, and on the table, a single photograph. It was of my wife, her hand resting on another man's chest. He wasn't a stranger. It was my brother. I stared at that photo long enough to memorize it, the curve of her smile, the tilt of his chin. Then I laughed quietly, bitterly, because they'd chosen my birthday. They wanted it to break me, but it didn't. It refined me. Back then, I used to think love meant trust. I met her at my lowest after our parents' death, after my brother and I nearly tore each other apart over the estate. She brought calm, laughter, light. She'd touch my shoulder and say, "You two are all that's left. Don't let pride ruin that." Funny how betrayal wears the face of peace, until it doesn't. I noticed the change months ago. Her perfume lingering when she came home late. Her smile delayed when I said, "I love you." The whispers, she said, were work calls. I didn't confront her. I observed, watched patterns unfold like cracks in glass. The final proof came from a security app I installed quietly, motion alerts time-stamped. Every Thursday between 6 and 9 p.m., my brother's car, my driveway, my home. I didn't break down. I didn't scream. I did what I do best. I planned. First, I moved the family trust funds quietly, legally, without a trace of panic. Every cent my father left us was split between us. My share was secure. His was accessible under conditions. I rewrote those conditions, buried them behind layers of corporate policy. He wouldn't notice, not until it mattered. Then I bought time. I made sure my wife felt safe, even loved. I planned a trip for us, a healing getaway. She smiled when I told her. She said I was finally myself again. On the third day after the photo, my phone started buzzing nonstop. Messages, calls. My sister panicked, my brother desperate, her silent. Something had happened. He'd been suspended. A fraud investigation in his company triggered by documents linked to offshore misuse of funds. The documents, of course, traced back to him. But what no one knew, not even he, was that those same documents were planted using credentials only she had access to. She'd been helping him with accounting. She just didn't know what she was really signing. That night, I walked into the house again. Same silence, same table. But this time she was there, sitting where the photo had been. She looked at me like she'd seen a ghost. "Did you do this?" she asked, her voice cracked. I didn't answer. I just placed a second photo on the table, a copy of the original, but altered. Her and him in black and white, a red circle around his hand on her waist. Underneath, a single line. "He took your trust. You took his place." Her eyes widened. "Where is he?" I looked at her. Really looked. She wasn't sorry. She was scared, not of guilt, but of exposure. "He's where he wanted to be," I said, "at the center of attention." By now, the investigation had gone public. The media had his name, his firm, and her signature on every form. My family's name, though, untouched. The next day, I visited him. Police station. He was sitting behind the glass, the same posture I'd seen in the photo, except now there was no charm in his smile. "You did this?" he said. "I only showed them what you gave them," I replied. He laughed low and bitter. "She'll leave you too." I leaned forward. "She already has." He found out who took his place 3 days later when the court froze his assets, including the trust he thought he controlled. His company removed him, his name erased from the board. The last call he made before his arrest was to her. She didn't answer. She'd already taken a flight out to a place I'd arranged, paid for with his card. The irony? She thought I was saving her. When the dust settled, I sat alone on that same couch, the one they thought I'd never sit on again. The house was quiet, but no longer empty. It felt earned. Something big had come, but not the way they expected. For my birthday, I got peace. And they got exactly what they gave me: silence. Now, when people ask about my brother, I tell them he's taking time to reflect. When they ask about her, I say she's gone to find herself. And when I look in the mirror, I don't see the man they betrayed. I see the man who waited, planned, struck. Because sometimes revenge isn't loud,